Hey guys, what's going on? So today I want to explain to you, I want to break down exactly what we do as an agency so that you understand how we can help you to improve your lead generation and your lead qualification process in your online high-ticket business. My name is Rafa Segovia. So we are an AI automation agency that specializes on lead generation, also outbound processes, but especially on lead qualification processes. The first problem that we want to focus on as an agency is to qualify and make sure that we only let through really high quality, highly qualified prospects in your pipeline, in your sales pipeline, so that you can actually focus on fulfillment and delivery. Okay, so as you can see on this slide here, basically we want to avoid this sort of high ticket trap where a lot of business owners get into themselves because they basically turn themselves into tech support for strangers. They are letting in basically anybody. So they spend way too much time on discovery and like manual qualification through discovery. So we have built and put in place a system that automates this whole process so that you can only focus on actual delivery and building the value that the prospects need to make the decision and drive the final push to make the sale. So what this creates is this idea that access is earned. So in the prospect's mind, when you start putting a lot of hoops and filters, they start seeing that the kind of quality and expectation is way higher than people that don't have any filters in between. So I want you to imagine that you spend around 2 hours a day trying to qualify these leads. Now, what I mean by qualifying, you spend 15 to 20 minutes, even up to half an hour on this discovery phase on sales calls to only realize that these people are actually not qualified. So imagine if you do that 4, 5, 6 times a day, you're basically spending easily a couple of hours every single day. You do that 5 times a week. That's like 10 hours a week, right? So you could spend easily 4 hours a month trying to qualify these prospects manually on sales calls, right? Now, imagine if you were selling a 6K offer, and you had a 25% close rate, you could easily be throwing down the drain over $100,000 a month on these deals because you spend all that time on this qualification process manually on sales calls when you could have done that automatically using some kind of AI automation system. And that's what we do. That's what we specialize on. That's exactly how this whole machine works. So what I want you to understand is that it doesn't matter if you spend all kinds of money on ads, the gates, the doors that actually allows however many amount of leads that you get, all of these leads will go through our different doors and through our different pipeline systems so that they convert as efficiently as possible. The point here is to put a filter between the first point of contact between the prospects and your calendar. We have a different set of automations that start in the DMs. So on the DMs, we can track all kinds of social media and emails. So we can install the system on your emails, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your X, on your TikTok, or any kind of inbound system to get leads. We can install the system so that we actually get as much information about the prospect's intent and situation so that you can have a very clear idea of their situation and if they're a good fit to work with you. So this whole thing starts with these 4 gates that I have here. The first one is the instant response. And this is really important because we actually decrease the amount of time that the prospects wait for you to respond. Because obviously if you have a team of DM setters, it's probably taking you maybe an hour, at least a few minutes to respond, or even up to hours to respond and to follow up. But if we have this system installed, you get basically instant response. And then you also have a sequence of follow-ups so that nobody gets bogged down on this pipeline. We can set up a set of requirements and guidelines and rubrics that we can use to push people into different workflows depending on the level of qualification that they represent. If they represent a certain amount of qualification, then we can nurture them a little bit further with a different set of actions and rewards or a different set of resources that we can provide. And if they are really, really hot, then we can just push them straight into your calendar. And we can also discuss how we can arrange this to really match exactly what you're looking for. Also, the admin automation. So this means the amount of tasks that we can set up after the call has finished. So basically sending follow-ups or sending contracts, sending agreements, these kinds of things. We can send the calendar links as soon as possible, as soon as we know that this could be a good lead for you to actually get on a call. And then we can also arrange a few questions to qualify them further, either directly on the DMs or the email, or we can also make them fill out a form. And then again, so the scorecard is where we actually put them into buckets so that we can actually separate them into different sort of guidelines and workflows to make sure that only the really hot leads actually land onto your calendar. And we can use different variables like the budget, the urgency, the clarity that they have about their situation and the need for a solution, and the kind of market fits that they belong to in this whole process. The interrogation phase is where you spend 15 minutes collecting facts live. So basically what this means, if you don't have any kind of filtering system in between, you have to spend 15, 20 minutes on every single call qualifying these leads. But if you have our system completely installed and ready to go, all you have to do on sales calls is kind of summarize everything that you already know, because you would already have gotten like a brief from the form that they have to fill out, so that it's more like a push into making the decision that they already know that they want to take. So the moment the call ends, this comes down to the admin tasks, an internal form is submitted with every single detail, every single idea that has been touched upon throughout the sales call. And then any kind of proposals or invoices or follow-ups will be sent automatically based on your specific requirements as a business. And then any kind of reminders with proof or anything that we decide that you need for your business will be implemented on this whole automated pipeline. Now, who is this for? This is for high-ticket online service providers like online coaches, agencies, and consultants that have an inconsistent flow of leads and are currently following a manual follow-up method, or also for real estate agents that need a faster speed to lead process and a better automated nurturing process to kind of warm up their cold volume of leads. So if you're in one of these two buckets and you really want to stop trading your time on manual tasks like this so that you can actually focus on delivery and fulfillment, book a call with me or my team and we'll take a deeper look into your business to really make sure that we understand your situation and your requirements, and we'll show you how you can actually implement this in your system and start making money from day one.